Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got some huge news that just dropped in an interview that was being done by Mr. GM and my boy Scotty J. Blizzard has just confirmed, and this is confirmed, not just an idea that they're putting out there. They have confirmed their vision on what they're going to do come Phase 2 of Wrath about old loot. Essentially what they have confirmed that they're going to do is that once Old War comes out, Nax 25 man loot can now be obtained from Nax 25 and in addition to Nax 10. And this goes the same for OS and EOE. Now you might be asking, what happens to the Nax 10 loot? Well, let me just let the Blizz dev explain it by himself in this clip.
What happens to all those items that dropped in 10-player Naxxramas and 10-player Malygos and 10-player Sartharian? Those are going to move to drops in the heroic dungeons from an increased difficulty. You'll be able to increase the difficulty of heroic dungeons to get better drops and more badges, more emblems, I should say, off the bosses. It's a change we're making. It's borrowing a little bit from the future game, but we think it's gonna be really exciting and give all of that content more room to live and grow and be relevant.
That's incredible. That's like information overload. My brain,
Sorry, you'll have to parse that whole.
Don't worry, Scotty. I'll tell you exactly how to feel. Just watch this video and you'll know exactly how to feel about all these changes. Spoiler alert, this is fucking great. I think this helps a ton with keeping old content relevant. This also helps people gear up quicker on either their mains if they were having an issue with a certain item dropping, or especially on alts. Hell, if you get an alt to level 80 and you got your professions already knocked out, you can start gearing up immediately. If Old War is already out and you're on a fresh 80, you could get awesome Nax 25 man loot and be ready to start doing Old War 10 man the day you hit level 80. That's incredible. I don't have any issues with that at all. They also said that there'd be more emblems dropping, which is great for mains and alts again. I have zero issue with more badges being added to the game, more emblems being added to players for accessibility, because that helps a lot of things. That helps you gain loot that's essentially already free to everyone to obtain. You just got to grind it out just by playing the video game. No worries there. No complaints there. There's no loot drama surrounding that. But it also helps people get PvP gear quicker. And I'm not a big PvPer, but adding more emblems to the game is always a good thing for PvPers. That means people can start getting the base gear that they want or need to just perform decently in a PvP setting, either BGs or arenas. And it's also really nice for the PvP community for when they make their alts. It's really, really a solid change. They also hinted at, if you scroll down to the bottom of this post, they hinted at adding more challenges and rewards later on to the expansion with this. And this is what I really want to talk about here. I think Heroic Plus is a massive opportunity and actually a really, really good idea from Blizzard. Personally, I would have done it a little bit differently than the track that we're on right now. And I do have like some issues with how they're doing loot, but since we're here, this is great. Let's run with it and let's make this thing better than it possibly can be. First thing that I want to do, the idea of doing Heroic Plus and Classic Wrath is, please Blizzard, please add timers and an achievement to this. Make it so that if you complete the Heroic Plus dungeon within the timer, that gets marked on an achievement. That's all that I ask. It doesn't have to add any more loot. It doesn't have to do anything else. If we just have a timer and an achievement for it, we can do so much with this. This achievement could potentially be a title reward. Maybe call it Wrathful Hero or something like that. Whatever the case is, however you name Keystone Master achievements in retail is probably a fine pattern to follow there too. Maybe if you complete all heroic dungeons within the timer, Heroic Plus dungeons within the timer, you can get a tabard for doing that. Or maybe you get a Proto Drake reskin, or you get a Mammoth reskin. And I know like these are big rewards for people on a custom thing that Blizzard just kind of, shat out of like nowhere. You could absolutely do this. This is not game breaking at all. This does not ruin anyone's classic experience at all. This is a good thing. You're doing so good, Blizzard. You're so good. Like, keep going. Give us a cool amount for doing this, seriously. And if there's only going to be one difficulty of Heroic Plus, which I think is fine, I think it would be cool if we could push keys in Heroic Plus and get up to 15 and then 20 and maybe even 30. I think that is a massive ask, and that's a big to-do and a balancing nightmare. But if there's only going to be one difficulty, please add some affixes to it. They don't have to be seasonal. They don't have to be weekly. Just some affixes, some challenge to these dungeons. Actually make them challenging and not just like health buffs. Health buffs to trash and damage buffs on trash and bosses is really boring. And I understand, sure, that's an affix, of course. But something to make those heroic dungeons just a little more interactive. I mean, the smallest thing could be Grievous, or potentially like bursting or quaking, anything like that. Um, it's okay if you go easy on this too. If you don't go like overly hard on the affixes, I think there is kind of a limit. Like if you were to add 4 affixes and there's only one difficulty of Heroic Plus, it might be so difficult and annoying that it just doesn't really fit in Classic Wrath. So here's my suggestion. I add affixes to make them interesting, but keep it kind of relatively easy. Now, what I mean by that is I want there to still be this like community of speedrunning. That is very much the identity of Classic. I would hope that these Heroic Plus dungeons could be mass pulled. Now, I'm not saying these mass pulls would be easy, but I would love to see big AoE pulls from tanks making crazy big plays with a huge hallway full of mobs, and then Boomkins being like an S tier DPS in this heroic dungeon, Heroic Plus dungeon tier. I just think that is the identity of Classic. That would be amazing. And we can have a ladder to track all of this on something like, say, Warcraft logs, or maybe like a Raider.io page for us. We can absolutely do this. And delaying this kind of thing until Old War buys you a lot of time to develop this. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Again, we're not asking for infinite scaling dungeons. We don't need to go push keys and push keys. One difficulty is fine. Just simple, like a Proto Drake recolor, a tabard, a title, achievement, a timer on these dungeons. This is little stuff. Please, Blizzard, this is a great change. You're doing awesome for once. I love you so much. Please, guys, keep it up. And you can do this. You can make this a really good addition to Classic Wrath without breaking any of the core fundamentals of the expansion. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here, and I really do hope someone at Blizzard who's a decision maker can see this. If you guys agree with me, please let me know in the comments. Your support makes this video louder. Your support makes it so that this video is being heard by the people who do make the decisions at Blizzard. Also, if you disagree, please say so in the comments. If you want something to be different in Classic Wrath, if you think this is horrible, say so. Because your voice will not be heard if you are not commenting it on a video like this, or on a forum post like this, or on WoWHead. You have to comment if you want your voice to be heard. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up there. Love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.